Did one wrong turn really start World War I? World War I, one of the largest wars in human history. But this war did not begin with a grand plan, secret meetings, or a massive military operation. It began with a single mistake, a wrong turn. In 1914, Europe appeared to be at peace from the outside. But this peace was extremely fragile. Empires did not trust one another. Countries were rapidly arming themselves. Alliance blocs stood side by side like dominoes. Nationalism was rising sharply, and the Balkans, in particular, had become the most dangerous region in Europe. At the center of this tension stood the Austro-Hungarian Empire. On June 28, 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, visited Sarajevo with his wife, Sophie. But this visit was risky from the very beginning. Sarajevo was under Austro-Hungarian control, yet the majority of its population was Serbian nationalist. And that day held special significance for Serbs. Authorities were aware of the possibility of an assassination. Despite this, security measures were weak. The convoy moved slowly through the city streets. When they reached the city center, one of the assassins made his move. He threw a bomb at Franz Ferdinand's car, but the bomb exploded too early. The vehicle sped away and escaped. The attack had failed. The Archduke was unharmed. Many believed the danger had passed. But the real disaster began right there. After the bombing attempt, officials decided to change the route for security reasons. But this decision broke at the weakest link in the chain. The route change was not clearly communicated to the driver. The convoy continued along its original path. After a while, the driver realized he was on the wrong road and tried to correct it by reversing the vehicle. At that exact moment, the car stalled. The place where the car stopped was not just any street. One of the failed assassins was standing there, Gavrilo Princip. Princip believed the plan had failed. He thought everything was over. But as if fate itself intervened, the car stopped just a few meters in front of him. Princip did not hesitate. He pulled out his pistol and fired 2 shots. Franz Ferdinand was critically wounded. His wife Sophie was also wounded, and shortly after they both died. But the war did not begin immediately after this event. At this point, one important fact must be made clear. This assassination did not, by itself, start the war, but it triggered the chain that would. Austria-Hungary saw this event as the excuse it had long been searching for against Serbia. War was not declared immediately. Diplomacy came first. For about a month after the assassination, Europe entered a silent but extremely dangerous period. Austria-Hungary delivered an ultimatum to Serbia containing very harsh conditions. These demands were nearly impossible for a sovereign state to accept. Serbia accepted most of them, but not all. And that was more than enough for Austria-Hungary. On July 28, 1914, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. At that moment, Europe's alliance system was activated. Russia supported Serbia. Germany stood beside Austria-Hungary. France and Britain entered the war shortly after. A local crisis turned into a global war within weeks. World War I lasted 4 years. Millions of people lost their lives. Empires collapsed. Borders were redrawn. And the world was permanently changed. And at the beginning of all this destruction, there was a tiny but deadly mistake. A single wrong turn. That wrong turn did not start the war by itself, but it triggered the chain that did. Because sometimes in history the greatest breaks are caused by the smallest mistakes.